we're getting close to LeBron debuting for the 2025 NBA season. So what are your realistic expectations with him and this Lakers roster?
I mean, I think he's going to have to come in and maybe be a little bit more of a playmaker. I think he's going to have to just tone down that desire to just have the ball in his hands all the time and look to score, which he's done well. But this team is shooting really efficiently. Luka's on a roll. Austin Reeves has been playing well. DeAndre Ayton actually has been playing really well as well. So I think he's just going to have to come in and kind of almost like be a facilitator, which I know is weird to say because he's been so good for so long. But this is a skill set that I think he excels in, so I don't think it'll be a problem. The thing that I'm going to be looking to watch is that essentially he's like on an expiring contract, and we don't know what his future is. He might be still trying to impress teams to make a run next year. We don't know what's happening there. So you can tell, or you can bet that he's going to want to show out and show what he can still do, but it's going to be fascinating.
Yeah, I think part of showing what he can do is going out there and being that facilitator you talk about, Lorenzo. And we know LeBron has done this his whole career. He's always been a great playmaker. I think he'll accept the challenge of being that guy for the Lakers. Maybe that means he's on the ball a little more than he should be. We know Luka still needs to have the ball in his hands at times. Austin Reeves has shown what he can do. I worry about how this impacts Austin. I think this probably pushes him into that second unit where he's kind of carrying that. LeBron assumes the role he had next to Luka towards the end of last season. That's kind of my expectation, is that we just see a bunch of LeBron, Luka on the ball. But I do want to see LeBron probably look for his shot a little bit less. And I think we will see that. I think he'll defer to Luka. This is Luka's team now. I think LeBron knows that. He still wants to show that he's capable of making plays out there. We'll see that in spurts. I don't think he's going to dominate games quite like he used to.
Yeah, if he could just come in and just be a playmaker. Like, you can never have too many playmakers. Let Luka kind of set it up and, be the screener, or, maybe a high-low game with him and Aiden. Or, if Luka comes out, then allow him and AR to kind of run the offense. I think LeBron could be great as like a stretch four for this team. Right now, you got Rui as the second big. You can either go really big and have him play with Rui and Aiden, or have him play that four with Aiden. I think you could see a lot of good with LeBron, and get that trade value up, because I need him out of LA. Let's get that no trade clause out. Let's get him out. But I think LeBron has a lot to prove, because people are doubting him. A lot of people are probably looking at it like, the injuries are starting to pile up. What is his stat line going to be at the end of the year? He's a forever 20-point scorer, but can he be efficient with less touches? Also having a very ball dominant point guard that he's playing with. So I think if he could just be a screener, get the ball, and then look to playmate. You got AR in the corner. If you got Luka respotting, you got Aiden. Like, LeBron could get his assist numbers up with this rotation and not have to worry about doing the bulk of the scoring. But it just comes down to, what does he want to do? Because he's so dominant, no matter if he wants to be a scorer or he wants to be a facilitator.
Yeah, I think one question to watch, though, is what if he comes in and they struggle? Because right now they look like one of the best teams in the West, which is saying a lot, because that's a top-heavy conference. It's a really competitive conference. If he comes in and it kind of looks a little uneven and sloppy and it stagnates a little bit, then I think JJ Redick's gonna have some questions to figure out.
I mean, I don't know how you're gonna tell your podcast, bro, look, we might have to get rid of you, but
Or we have to move you to the bench.
No.
And look, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But I honestly think he would be a great fit for this team coming off the bench. We never see it, but they could use someone like a LeBron at his age, at his current skill set, coming off the bench.
Yeah, you're talking about Bronny Jr., right? The one that's already on the bench. That's who you're talking about.
Yeah. Hey, Bronny's not getting any more PT once his dad comes back.
All right, looking at some other storylines in the NBA. Let's play some NBA true or false. First question: are the Thunders going to break the Warriors' win record this year?
Yes. I'll say yes. You know what? I'm going for it, and I'm saying yes more so out of like wishful thinking. Like, I want to see it happen. I want to see a team push for that record. Something to think about also, J-Dub has not played this year, so they'll get a whole new burst of energy once they get maybe their second best player back into this lineup that's already been so dominant this year.
Yeah, not only that, but it seems like he's working on a left-handed shot. He might be like ambidextrous out there once he actually gets on the court. But this just is so hard to do, man. I mean, it would be fascinating to see, but I just can't see it because of load management, because of injuries. This is a young team. They like to be out on the floor. They like to compete. But dang, man, 9 losses. I mean, that means they got 8 more, or essentially they got 7 more if they're going to break the record. That's just that would be wild, absolutely wild.
Will Jokic win his fourth MVP this year?
I'm going to say yes, man. I think the question is, will people want to give him his fourth MVP? Because he anytime he steps on the floor, he is the best player on the court. He's the best player in the world. And the thing is, it's just his game is so versatile. I love the way he passes the ball. He creates for his teammates. His shot, he's efficient. His defense obviously leaves something to be desired. But the Nuggets, you look around and like, just imagine if you took him out, they would completely fall apart. I was big on the Cameron Johnson thing. He actually hasn't done all that much since he's been there. Aaron Gordon, Aaron Gordon is Aaron Gordon because of Jokic. I mean, Aaron Gordon obviously is a good player, but it's that gravity that Jokic demands that I think he just opens things up incredibly for everyone. And when the game is on the line, he wants a ball in his hands. So I can't. I mean, it's way early, but he's just playing out of his mind.
No, Jokic won't be win MVP. And it won't be because he's not deserving. It's going to be because, as we talked earlier about the Thunder potentially pushing for this record, it's going to be because the Thunder is so good, voters are going to feel like they have no choice but to give it to SGA. That's probably not the best criteria. We know wins shouldn't be the main factor, but it usually is a big factor in this. And if the Thunder push for a record, regular season record and wins, SGA is going to get it.
The Rockets and not Jokic Nuggets are a bigger threat to the Thunder out west.
No, it's not the Rockets. And I went into the season thinking it would be Houston, but right now, Denver actually has a better defensive rating than Houston, which I didn't see coming. And that changes the game right there. We know Jokic is probably the best player in the world. You have that on your side, and you're playing great defense around a player like that. Denver's the team to beat outside of OKC.
Man, see, now I'm flip flopping because I went into the season thinking it was the Nuggets, and now I think it might be the Rockets because of the flip side. It's that offense, man. Houston has the number one ranked offensive rating, which, last year I think they were 12th around there with a rating out of 114. They're plus 10 this year. Kevin Durant obviously has fit in seamlessly, and Reed Shepard's kind of balling out, which is interesting. But I think with the Rockets, their defense, I think we saw what it could be last year. I think eventually they will come to that. But the reason why I like Houston is if they're scoring the ball that way, the Thunder are the best defensive team in the NBA. Then they can match up, and we can see, well, if the Thunder can score on the Rockets, and that opener showed that they can at least hang there. I know it's early, and I try not to buy into the offseason sizzle when guys move around, but man, I'm liking what Houston's doing.
At the end of the year, Wemby would be a top 3 finalist in both MVP voting and Defensive Player of the Year voting.
This is true, man. This is, I mean, like, just based on the I mean, defensive player, he's going to take it. There's no question. And I mean, the thing with Wemby is I almost wish there were stats for when he doesn't get stats because like that possession where Steph was trying to find a space and he just was trying to shed him and he could not. Like Wemby doesn't get a stat there, but that is a defensive play where he dominated. But offensively, he's just embraced efficiency. And the thing with him is that it's like it looks good, like he's a little lanky and whatever, but it's like the highlights. It's like every time he plays, there is a highlight, and I think that goes a long way with MVP voters.
Yeah, this is an easy call. D Boy was a given. I didn't think he'd step into the MVP conversation so early in his career, but he's here. He's the most exciting player to watch. League pass, must watch when he's on the screen. There's no reason someone 7'4", 7'5" should be just pulling back behind the 3-point line, hezzy pull, pulling up in people's faces, dotting your eye, and then the next possession he might go down, block a shot, and go full court, length of the court, and dunk on you. The guy's incredible to watch. He's right there.
And now he's got a little swagger. I mean, he's tripping at Draymond. It's like
He's not
we might,
scared.
yeah, we might see like a beast emerging here. So I'm excited to see it, but I think the rest of the league is probably like, what the hell, man?
I don't know if he's going to finish top 3 in MVP. I think you have Shea, of course, reigning MVP. Jokic, which we just talked about. I can see Luka, depending on if the Lakers finish top 3, 4, and we don't know what LeBron will be or if he'll finish the season with them. He could be an MVP candidate. So top three is hard. And we're just talking about teams out west. You don't know who out east could surprise some people. You can see a Cade get some votes. You can see maybe Giannis if he can get the Bucks back into top two, top three seeds. So I see him doing one. I don't see him doing both. But I mean, for him, DPOY will probably be named after him after a while. All right, let's look at a couple teams who've either started the season hot and starting to flame out, or is some surrounding controversy with them. So, panic meter 1 through 10. Where are you with the Golden State Warriors?
I'm probably at like a 4. I actually have been pleasantly surprised by the Warriors. They're playing a little bit better than I expected. I do think it's a lot of weight on Steph right now. He's having to go out here and play Superman at his age, but he's still capable of it in a way that I wasn't quite sure, he'd still be there. Those skills haven't diminished quite yet.
I'm a little bit higher. I'm like at a 6, and I feel like that's simmering. We're getting close to a boil here. Like, I mean, we're 10 games into the season, and we got Draymond talking about personal agendas, and fans are trying to figure out who they're talking about. A lot of people are pointing at Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga started the season as a starter, and then his role started to reduce. And fans are already kind of complaining about Jimmy Butler not being so ball dominant, even though it's early in the season. We know Jimmy takes over late. It's working to what Prince was saying. It's they're competing. They're doing their part for the most part, but it feels like if they hit a losing streak, and if they lose one of Jimmy or Steph, then things I think will really fall apart. I think the biggest thing they need to do is figure out the Kuminga thing and probably ship him somewhere, recoup some value, and then move forward.
The team that just made news with firing their GM, the Dallas Mavericks.
I mean, I think at this point, just blow it up. I'm not panicked about them because I wasn't really thinking they were going to do that much. I'll probably go like a 3. I mean, I think that the concern is really like, don't mess up Cooper Flag, because we've seen enough to know that he has potential to become great. Um, you just don't want instability. You don't want all these different voices. You want a clear vision and to build around him. So I think trading Anthony Davis is probably the move. I mean, I think if you're any aging veteran in Dallas, you probably maybe you're thinking you might be on the move. So I just I think if Kyrie were healthy, this would be a different scenario. But right now, as the way the team is constructed, I just think expectations are so low.
I think the panic meter already hit full tilt. It hit 10. They fired the GM, right? And he was the guy who built this team to win now. Like, this team wasn't built for Cooper Flag in the future. Cooper was just kind of an added piece that they didn't know they'd have. They thought it'd be Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving coming back at some point. This team was supposed to win this year. And it is not going to happen. At this point, you just hope Cooper Flag doesn't start building bad habits being around a losing situation. So I think it already hit 10. Now we're resetting. It's somewhere around the middle. We'll see where it goes from here. Like Lorenzo said, they should probably blow it up.
The Chicago Bulls.
Man, I mean, the thing is, like, they seem like a team that's happy to just be like invited to the play-in. Like they seem just content with whatever comes their way. They had that nice start, and I'm thinking like, dang, all right, the Bulls look good. They've lost 5 in a row, 6 of the last 7. Um, I mean, the injury to Josh Giddey obviously was a big part of that, but this roster, I just don't. This is one of these teams that frustrates me because there's young pieces, and I think they really need Kobe on the floor consistently, because he obviously is such a big offensive presence for them. But I don't know, man. My mind wants to tell me like this is a 7 or an 8, but I think the Bulls are all right with it. So I don't know that they're really panicking on the inside.
Yeah, it's probably at like a 5 for me. Just they probably should have came into the season panicked. To be quite honest with you, it's like, where are you going? I don't know the direction of this team. They have vets who probably should be trying to win now, but they also have a bunch of young pieces who you like and you think you can build around. They always kind of just hover around the playing tournament, like Lorenzo said. At some point, you got to decide either we're going to be really bad and build for the future, or we're going to finally take a step up. And this team is not built to take a step up, even as good as they looked early in the season. I guess those early flashes make you feel like it's probably like a 7, 8. In reality, no one expected that of them coming into this year.
And lastly, the Orlando Magic.
Man, with Orlando, the problem is Paulo being hurt now. I mean, you don't want that to be a thing where he's on the sideline a lot. Like last year, obviously the torn oblique was an issue, and then when Franz had the torn oblique, that was an issue, and that kind of imploded their whole season. They've started to figure things out a little bit. They look a little bit better over the past couple of games, but really the question for me is Desmond Bain. Like if he needs to step up, and he has done a little bit more. Like he's averaging more points, he's hitting more shots, but this just doesn't look right. Like their defense carried them last year, and that's not quite there. Their offense was a problem last year, and it remains a problem. But even when Paulo was on the floor, his numbers have declined a little bit. I think he's found it more difficult to really break through defenses. His mid range isn't hitting as well. Um, I don't know that they're at a panic level where they're blowing it up, but I think they might have buyer's remorse, or they're at least wondering like, well, we have these pieces now. How do we make this work? So it might be pretty tough.
Yeah, I'm pretty high. I got to be at like an 8, and all I can do is compare you up against the expectations I had for you coming into the year. And this was like a sleeper finals team for me. I thought the Magic were that good, and right now they don't look like that. And the problem, once again, is the offense. Like for whatever reason, the thing is just disjointed. They have these players we think are good. They don't shoot enough. I never thought Desmond Bain was enough. I thought they needed a couple more pieces. So maybe that's the move. Maybe they need to go find another deadline deal to make. But I'm worried about this team. They aren't playing defense as good as they were last season, and that was kind of the thing that carried them. Still a good defensive team, but that offense isn't carrying its weight at all. So I'm pretty high on the panic meter for Orlando.